Thank you, Phyllis. Good morning. My name's Luke, and I'll be your service leader today. Welcome to Unity of Bloomington. At Unity, we offer practical spiritual teachings that empower abundant and meaningful living. We are a center for spiritual growth, and we provide inspiration, tools, and practices that support people on their path of spiritual growth. We extend a special welcome to those of you who are joining for the first time today. If you would like to find out more about us or receive our newsletter, we invite you to visit our website at unityofbloomington.org. You can also subscribe to our newsletter while you're visiting the website. Please join us in combining our voices in joyful song.
Changing the world, let it begin, let change begin with me. My heart embraces a world wrapped in peace. Let it begin, let peace begin with me. I am an agent of change, a sweet dove of peace. I am love. I am love. I am love. I am love. I am an agent of change, a sweet dove of peace. I am love unfolding. My eyes envision a world aglow in love. Let it begin. Let love begin with me. We move together toward all that is just. Let it begin, let justice begin with us. We are agents of change, sweet doves of peace. We are love, we are love, we are love, we are love. We are agents of change, sweet doves of peace. We are love. We are love unfolding. Today, I choose to be loving, so loving. Today, I choose to be loving, loving. Today, I choose to be peaceful, so peaceful. Today, I choose to be peaceful, peaceful. Whatever I choose is how my day's gonna be. I claim what I want, 'cause it's all up to me. Today, I choose to be loving, so loving. Today, I choose to be loving, loving. Today, I choose to be joyful, so joyful. Today, I choose to be joyful, joyful. Whatever I choose is how my day's gonna be. I claim what I want, 'cause it's all up to me. It's all up to me. Today, I choose to be joyful, so playful. Today, I choose to be playful, playful. Today, I choose to be loving, so loving. Today, I choose to be loving, loving. To be loving, loving. To be loving, loving.
Please join me and affirming our statement of being. Together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. This power expresses life, love, wisdom, and abundance through me. In it I live and move and have my being. One way we empower abundant and meaningful living is by practicing and living our 5 basic principles. I will state the principle and invite you to respond with the affirmation. God is all good and active in everything, everywhere. God is. I am naturally good because God's divinity is in me and everyone. I am. I create my experiences by what I think, feel, do, and believe. I create. Through affirmative prayer and meditation, I connect with God and bring out the good in my life. I pray. I do and give my best by living the truth I know. I make a difference. I live. I now invite Reverend Lynette up for our moment with the children.
Good morning. Good morning. We're still not on. How about that? This technology stuff's great when it works. What a beautiful, bright morning. I can see the sun reflecting off the ice on the tree branches right outside the window, and it looks like they've been etched in silver. I wish you could be here to see it with us. But you're not. We're glad you're watching wherever you are. And I've asked if Dan will help me with our children's moment this morning. We are talking about love this month. And there's a verse that we're using from Colossians that tells us what that involves, what that means. And it talks about clothing ourselves with qualities that help us get along with each other in community. And so it talks about putting on these various things. So we're going to have Dan. He's going to put on patience, forgiveness. There you go. We did these kind of in Easter egg colors. Okay, let's put on meekness. Meekness is no back talk, I think. Not one of the best things my parents were good at teaching us, but now I get it. You know what patience and kindness are. Humility is where you don't always have to be first, where you can let somebody else be the best today. Here, let's put on humility. We have, oh, that's not kindness, that's forgiveness. We know what forgiveness is. Here we have kindness. That really is kind of treating people the way you'd like to be treated. Sometimes we call it nice, but I like kindness better. Here, we'll put that on there. And finally, we have compassion, which sometimes is referred to as pity or feeling sorry for somebody, but it really is when we're touched by somebody else's pain, especially their suffering. And I realized it's every time you see one of those American Humane Society commercials and you go, oh, that's compassion for those poor puppies and kitties they show us in those pictures. So we're going to put on compassion, but this is a little awkward, isn't it? You're running out of, yeah. So this verse ends up, it talks about all these things, and then it says, above all, put on love. So, and it explains in the commentary that the above all means on top of everything else, put on love, because it holds everything else together. So we're going to put all these things in love, because love holds everything together. There you go. And we're going to, above all, on top of all of his other clothes, we're going to put the backpack on Dan. And we want you to, every time you put your backpack on, we want you to think about how you filled it up with all those good things, all those good qualities, and go forth in love. Thank you, Dan.
We love you. We bless you. We truly, truly appreciate you. We behold the Christ in you.
This year, Unity's annual theme is Embrace Your Unlimited Good. Our focus this month is above all, love. The spiritual life we teach and practice is one of transformation. We are releasing our sense-based awareness and embracing a higher consciousness, the Christ mind, which is characterized above all as love. This heart-centered way of being is grounded in an understanding of love and power, a commitment, and a choice, not just a warm, fuzzy feeling. We seek to love as we are, loved by Source, wholly, deeply, and unconditionally, demonstrating that love truly binds together all things in perfect unity. Please join me in saying this month's affirmation together. I embrace, experience, and express love above all. I'd like to highlight the following announcements. Our guest speaker on February 20th will be Reverend Karen Williams. Reverend Williams was ordained with the Salvation Army and served as a pastor and educator in the Midwest for many years. After working with the Field Museum in Chicago, she moved to the West. In 2015, she retired with the City of Phoenix as a Deputy Director of Parks and Recreation. She now resides in Ellettsville. Her spiritual practice includes studying the Bible and A Course in Miracles in an effective, transformative way daily. While not claiming to be an expert in them, she is excited to share God's love in a heartfelt, practical way. She is thrilled to be invited back to Unity as a guest speaker. The annual meeting, Unity of Bloomington, will follow the service today at 11:45. We'll meet on Zoom, and the link is on the first page of our website, unityofbloomington.org. Click on the annual meeting button. Everyone who is interested is welcome to attend. Only members can participate in voting. Daily word for today is dominion. Today our affirmation is, claiming dominion, I am calm and confident. I am a powerful spiritual being, endowed with dominion, the authority to take command of my thoughts, words, and actions. Even as I work to change my circumstances, I remember I am not constrained by what is happening around me. Claiming dominion, I choose my response in all situations. I live with poise and confidence. I claim dominion over my thoughts and feelings. When I recognize limiting thoughts, I train myself to affirm my spiritual power and freedom. Divine wisdom guides me. I feel the strength of the indwelling Christ presence moment by moment, thought by thought, as I use my dominion to establish positive, fulfilling direction in my life. And from Genesis 1:26, then God said, "Let us make humankind in our image, according to our likeness, and let them have dominion." Now we'll join together in speaking the affirmation aloud. Together, claiming dominion, I am calm and confident. And now repeat it to yourself silently. Claiming dominion, I am calm and confident. Today our speaker is our spiritual ministry co-coordinator, Reverend Lynette Carlson. Musical inspiration will be provided by the Unity Music Team.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when I think I've lost my way, I just go inside and quiet my mind and hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only
Thank you. That's beautiful. Perfect. You know, Valentine's Day is next Monday, which brought to mind this little bit of verse from a sonnet by Elizabeth Barrett Browning, and I bet you'll recognize it. She wrote to her husband, "How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee to the depth and breadth and height my soul can reach." And it goes on from there, but it's not as familiar once you get past that point. Well, you know, the Apostle Paul answered that same question. How do we love one another? When he was writing to the church at Colossus, this was one of the questions that he addressed. And he answered that question with these words: "As God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience. Bear with one another, and if anyone has a complaint against another, forgive each other, just as God has forgiven you. And above all, clothe yourselves with love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony." And that's Colossians 3:12 through 14, for those of you who want to check and be sure if I got it right. The literal translation is above all, love. The clothe was borrowed from the earlier passage. And that's our theme this month, above all, love. The Bible commentary enduringword.com says, "Love is the bond of perfection, the summary of all the things described in this passage. Love perfectly fulfills the divine intention for human relationships." This website also says all of the virtues listed in verses 12 and 13 are, on the highest level, manifestations of love. But love is larger than any of them. In fact, larger than all of them combined. So in order to understand love a little better, let's unpack those virtues. Compassion. In the Revealing Word, Charles Fillmore says that human compassion is a characteristic of love and mercy prompted by an understanding heart. A compassionate mind sees the error but does not condemn. The meaning of kindness is so obvious that it's not in the Revealing Word. There is no metaphysical meaning of kindness. It is kindness. But a website called inspirekindness.com says that kindness is defined as the quality of being friendly, generous, and considerate. But kindness means so much more. It means different things to different people. The meaning is how you choose to show it, be it through empathy or acceptance, kind gestures, or thoughtfulness. The possibilities are entirely up to you. Kindness might look like being helpful or showing empathy. It may mean doing nice things without expecting nice things in return. But kindness is more than being nice. Think about it. Would you prefer that people described you as kind or as nice? There can be a lack of sincerity in just being nice. There is often the perception of just doing the minimum, or maybe just faking it. Whereas being kind is doing intentional, voluntary acts of kindness, not only when it's easy to be kind, but when it's hard to be. In The Revealing Word, Charles Fillmore writes that humility is freedom from pride and arrogance, according to Webster. But for Fillmore, it is the recognition that what we talk about as the lowercase s self, that little s self, by itself is ineffectual, which means doesn't have much impact. What we do with our small s self can be wasted effort, because our individual power is sometimes so puny. And Charles quotes John 5:30, I can of myself do nothing. And then goes on to quote John 14:10, the Father abiding in me doeth his works. He says true humility is needed very much in the Christ-centered individual. The true Christian is humble. He or she knows the nothingness of the lesser self and the allness of Christ. What about meekness? This is one of the tougher ones, I think. It's defined as anyone highly trained to react to all negative stimuli with love instead of an eye for an eye. That's a better definition than most of them that I hear for meekness. It means that one is not puffed up in personality, and that the lesser self knows that it is not all that. Yet, meekness realizes the eternal existence of the indwelling Christ, or the I am, and is firm and strong in this realization. So meekness kind of understands where it fits in the bigger picture. Patience. There is a metaphysical meaning of patience, an attitude of mind characterized by poise, inner calmness, and quiet endurance, especially in the face of trying conditions. Patience has its foundation in faith, and it's perfected only in those who have unwavering faith in God. Patience is what we get when we lean on something bigger than our own strength. Forbearance. That's bearing with one another is the way the verse puts it. I ran across a commentary this week that said forbearance is the opposite of love. It's putting up with someone when we ought to be loving them. And I said to Joni, I think the guy who wrote this has never been married. Forbearance is what we have when the other is not in their finest moment. How about that? My friend Mary taught me that expression. When I'm not having my finest moment, I hope you will bear with me and be able to remember finer moments than the present one. It's often translated or a synonym is tolerance. And that doesn't mean just barely tolerating or putting up with. It really is about understanding that this is not all there is. It's allowing something to be done without hindering. Probably the biggest difference between forbearance and love is that it's passive. It just kind of sits back and waits. And that's okay. If the other is really not having their finest moment, it's best to stay out of their way, perhaps. And finally, the revealing word says that forgiveness, it defines forgiveness as a process of giving up the false for the true, erasing sin and error from the mind and body. Forgiveness is closely related to repentance, which is a turning from belief in sin and error to belief in God and righteousness. An error is forgiven when one ceases to make it. And true forgiveness is only established by recognizing and releasing error and renewing the mind and body with thoughts and words of truth. And finally, above all, love. The word love used here is not the Greek word eros, which is romantic or passionate love, sensual love, what you feel when you fall in love. And all of those biochemicals get released, and your stomach flutters, and your mouth goes dry. I couldn't eat for weeks the last time I fell in love. And I didn't think I was over it when I could finally eat again, but I knew that I had gotten past the stage. And it was nice to be able to eat again. The kind of love that is mentioned here, no, that kind of love is not mentioned anywhere in the Bible. It doesn't talk about eros. It does use the word philios, which is affection or friendship, a feeling of warmth towards someone else. It's a two-way kind of love. That's where we get the name of the city Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. In other words, philios says, you love me and I'll love you back. It's transactional. I love you because there are certain things that are good about you. At least I think so. And you love me because there are certain things that you think are good about me. It's a two-way love, but that's not what Paul is talking about here. He uses the word agape. This Greek word was rarely used in Greek literature prior to the New Testament. But in the New Testament, it took on a special meaning. It was used by numerous New Testament writers to designate the unconditional, volitional love, as opposed to emotional love or brotherly love, transactional. Agape is a love that puts others ahead of self. It seems as though the early church took this word out of obsolescence and made it a characteristic word for love, spiritual love, a higher kind of love. Agape is the kind of love that is best practiced by one who understands and embodies today's daily word, which was dominion, also known as self-control. Because agape love is volitional, means it's chosen. It's an act of will. As the Daily Word said today, claiming dominion, I choose my response in all situations. The choice to love someone is often accompanied by a warm feeling because love naturally generates affection. But unconditional love is not engendered by warm feelings. I don't notice you and feel that chemistry, tingle, attraction, whatever that is, and then think, I love you. I love you because you are a sentient being, because you are human, breathing, alive. It's a choice. It's a one-way kind of love. In other words, you love me even if I don't love you back. You love me even though there's nothing obviously lovable about me. Agape is a love that proceeds from the nature of the lover rather than the qualities of the person who is loved. It's a love that gives, a love that seeks the best of and for the one loved. Agape is a commitment of the will to cherish and uphold another person. It is the only word ever used in Greek to describe God's love. For us, it's a decision that we make, a commitment to undertake treating another person with concern, with a heart of compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience, bearing with one another and forgiving each other. These are the ties that bind. Love is the goal, the garment, if you will, that's woven out of all of these other qualities. I can't say I love you if I'm not willing to treat you with compassion, kindness, humility, and all the rest. It's this kind of love that binds us together, that is the source of our unity, and that keeps us from flying apart. Today's daily word speaks of us having the authority to take command of our thoughts, words, and actions. Self-dominion is what empowers us to set our intentions, which was the daily word back on January 14th. The affirmation that day was, my intention is to be loving and compassionate. It goes on to say, I believe in the power of kindness, and I strive to treat all people with the consideration and patience with which I like to be treated. When I commit to beholding the divine in all people and every situation, the grace of God flows through me and expresses as gentle words, patience, and consideration. When my highest self, my capital S self, recognizes your highest self, there's love, in part because we recognize our kinship. The most essential tie that binds us together is the Christ presence within, that spark of divinity of which we speak. Personally, I find that it's easier to love those whose divinity is more highly developed. And it certainly has become easier to have unconditional love for others as my Christ consciousness has grown. And I have worked with people who are certain that God has never and will never love them because that's what their upbringing taught them. Their belief in this error grieves me deeply. However, when I make the decision to love them unconditionally, I challenge that belief. Occasionally, they will voice this skepticism and ask, why do you love me? Some want to hear that they are loved because they are not as awful as they were told they were as children. It's a pretty low bar. To those who have ears to hear and the consciousness to understand, I will admit what I believe to be the truth. which is that God, the all that is loving them through me. Because I have chosen to embody unconditional love in our relationship. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Now our music team is going to help us prepare for a time of meditation. Now take a deep breath and release it slowly, which signals to your body and your brain that all is well, that you are ready to relax. You might wiggle around a little bit and relax a little more deeply into your seat. And take another deep, cleansing breath. Above all, love. 3 simple words with a lifetime to accomplish. Today, in the spirit of St. Francis, let this be our meditation. Source, today I choose and intend to be an instrument of unconditional love above all. Where there is indifference, I will show compassion. Where there is hostility, I will show kindness. Where there is arrogance, I will show humility. Where there is aggression, I will show meekness. Where there is frustration, I will show patience. Where there is prejudice, I will show forbearance. And where there is injury, I will show pardon. O divine mind, source of all we call good, your unconditional love fills and inspires us. We bless the many, many ties that bind us And we lift our consciousness now to embrace, experience, and express that love above all in the silence.
I am the love of God. I am the love of God. The love that makes the universe. The love that sustains us all. I am that love. I am the love of God. You are the love of God. You are the love of God. The love that makes the universe, the love that sustains us all. You are that love. You are the love of God. We are the love of God. We are the love of God. The love that makes the universe. The love that sustains us all. We are that love. We are the love of God. You are that love. You are the love of God. I am that love. I am the love of God.
We turn now to the spiritual practice of generosity. We are grateful for the many ways that this center supports us in our spiritual growth, and we in turn are happy to support this center with our financial contributions and our voluntary service. We are also grateful for those who have already put in place automatic weekly, monthly, or quarterly contributions. Today, if you feel led to give, visit our website at unityofbloomington.org and click the giving link. We also welcome your gifts to the Unity of Bloomington at our physical address at 4001 South Rogers Street, Bloomington, Indiana, 47401. Please don't mail cash. We promise to cash your check. Join me now in speaking aloud our abundance affirmation. Together, I am an abundant being, living in an abundant universe. God is the source of my supply. I am not dependent on people or situations for my good. God is the source of my supply. I always have something to give, and I consistently give it. I expect the best, I give my best, and I now attract the best in every experience.
Blessed be the tie that binds our hearts in Christian love, the fellowship of kindred minds is like to that above.
We bless our abundance with these words. Together, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I'd like to invite you to join with me in saying our closing prayer. Together, as the light of God we shine. As the love of God we embrace. As the power of God we stand in truth. As the presence of God we radiate love. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.